dollars per barrel, he was still able to manage. Let's not forget that Andrew Holness in the last 9 years have the worst pandemic the world have seen in 100 years, called COVID-19, and we were still able to return to growth after COVID. So I am glad you mentioned those things, because one crisis, Jamaica Labour Party has to maneuver several, and we are still able to return the country to growth after all of them. What major crisis did the PNP party of 1989 to 2007 face? None. At that time, the world was growing. Every country in the world was flourishing except Jamaica. What crisis did they face? Yes, if you say man did have one oil crisis, I will give you that. What crisis did the PNP that took office in 1989 and left in 2007? What crisis did they face? Why they led over 18 years of stagnation, left us with the worst road network we have ever seen, regardless of what you can say. Let me leave that for you to answer. Madam Host, I beg you to know that in 2017, 2018, there was a phrase in Jamaica that people used to use. Them used to call it carpet. Everywhere you go is carpet. That phrase refers to the amount of roads that were being fixed between 2017, 2018, and 2019. Yes, there was a massive road infrastructure program going on then. Every constituency had better roads. Now, we had COVID, 3 years. That slowed down every government project, including road maintenance. Coming out of COVID, we were hit with the longest period of rainfall this country has ever seen. Actually, some nearly 1 year out of rain. Every day rainfall in Jamaica, we had that. During that time, we had Hurricane Beryl. So yes, at the end of Hurricane Beryl and almost a year of rain, the Prime Minister did say our road network is in a crisis, because there were. But what this man is want to mislead you is that from 2016 until now, the road never fixed. That is a blatant lie on your part. And I urge you, Madam Host, research the road in the carpet. That was the term being used to describe Jamaican road between 2017, 18, and 19. Everywhere you go is just carpet. Carpet here, carpet there, carpet all around. Nigel Clark and Anne-Marie Vaz coined that phrase to describe our road because of how pretty they were. Now, move on to salaries again. This government has made the investment in every single sector. He said they were building and renovating hospitals in their term. Remember, it was Dr. Alfred Dawes that came out and said the health sector is the worst he has ever seen. As a doctor performing surgery, he's wearing scandal bag as PPE. They have to cut one soap in two to serve two operating theater. Them was using the cheapest sanitizers they ever had to clean their hand before surgery. And on me say it was Dr. Alfred Dawes when he had a conscience. Now, what hospitals were you building during that time?
Mr. Finley, can you close? It's all right. Kester, they want to talk, I'm going to talk now.
Can I make a talk?
Just a second, Mr. Excellent. The gentleman that's on top here.
Thank you, madam. Excellent. I don't know. Listen, Ronnie Tweed described the 90s as the greatest transfer of resources or wealth from the poor to the rich that has ever occurred in Jamaica since slavery was abolished. Excellence is talking about comprehension. That's a profound statement. Does he understand what Ronnie Tweed was saying? Here, I have an article here that I took out a long time that was written by Clark. Clark was a minister. Clark was a PNP minister in the 90s. One came into parliament in 1989. When the PNP came back in power, all right, this article was written in 2012. Clark wrote an article and he said there's no denying that it is the PNP fingerprint that are most prominently displayed on the economic model in which the country is now stuck. During its previous 18 and a half year tenure, the PNP was either oblivious off or deliberately ignore critical signpost warning of the looming economic disaster that now engulfs us. The closure of dozens of manufacturing facilities include many of Jamaica's largest and most prestigious, such as Colgate-Palmolive, Gillette and Ricketts and Coleman, and the rise in the informal sector, better described as commercial kiosks, were among these caution markers. The result, Jamaica fell from its position as a top economic performer among CARICOM states to be the region most dysfunctional. He said, even in the most far-fetched work of fiction, it might be considered implausible for a sane person to put a new car in the hands of a driver who had driven one over a precipice. But that is exactly the situation.
That is Claude Clark's opinion from a Labour right. Anybody can write it if you don't want to write.
Clark was a PNP. Don't talk nonsense. Listen,
I'm saying, listen to me. I know what I know. I'm going to say this to you. In the 1990s,
you
and Chuck forget.
Gentleman can finish his thought, please.
Chuck, could you just close
Madam Host, would you mute this man so the gentleman can finish his thought?
Mr. Chuck, just a second, sir. Just a second, sir. I am here listening, sir. Just a second. Just a second, sir. Hold on. What were you saying, Mr. Excellency?
What, Mr. Chuck? Is it because Chuck doesn't read a lot?
No, Mr. Excellency, we cannot,
right.
Mr. Excellency, we will not disrespect the gentleman. Right. We will not disrespect the gentleman.
Yes.
Is the gentleman at the top was speaking.
Let me just finish.
Lest they forget that they were the global...
The economy has been anti those who were principally responsible for taking it over a cliff. He said, we ended 1988 with a CARICOM trade plus of US 3 million, all right? And by 2008, it has converted to a deficit of US 1.6 billion. And he's talking, Excellency is talking. The great Lee Kuan Yew came here in the 60s, and Lee Kuan Yew was impressed with what was going on, all right? Lee Kuan Yew, remember, you know, Singapore, Jamaica was ahead of Singapore. Jamaica was the pearl of the Caribbean. It's only maybe Trinidad that don't liquor oil, all right? Might place them above us. Now, when Lee Kuan Yew came back to a CARICOM heads of government meeting in the 70s, Lee Kuan Yew sat in the meeting and listened to Michael Manley. When Lee Kuan Yew said he spoke about this light-skinned Jamaican Prime Minister Michael Manley, and said he said he found Manley's view chaotic, meaning extremely idealistic, impractical,
what kind
and
of economy?
Unrealistic.
What kind of politics is practiced in
Yew
Singapore?
Describe Michael Manley's
what kind of state is Singapore, sir?
Lee Kuan Yew said that.
Sir,
he said that Manley's policies ruined Jamaica, and he found Manley's view chaotic. That's a great Lee Kuan Yew. Remember, Lee Kuan Yew takes Singapore as small
what
country
kind
with
of
the size of
state is
St.
Singapore?
James. All right? They don't even have no natural resources, not even proper drinking
what
water.
kind of state is
Mr.
Singapore?
Barry Kim?
Michael Manley ruined Jamaica and people.
Sir,
if you run away,
Mr.
tell me which
Singapore.
country can run away its people with capital who were
What was the question, Mr.
I
Excellent?
am asking him what sort of a state is Singapore?
Okay. Mr. Barry Kim is asking you a question, sir. Unmute your mic.
What sort of state is Singapore?
I don't know if I'm still on.
Go ahead, sir.
Hold on, Madam Host.
Just a second, sir. Just a second.
Just one single point.
No,
and that's to you. That's one point.
Go ahead.
You know, the
I don't know if
honorable,
I'm still on. Somebody mute me.
the honorable Claude Clark is an esteemed gentleman, a former minister, a former PNP minister, a very, very successful gentleman. We don't want to sully his character. Trust me, we don't want to sully such a man's character. And I mean, I think your listeners would really love to hear the article. And Mr. Barkin, can you refer the listeners to the article that he wrote in the column there, so that the listeners are able to go there and read it? Not everybody wants to work with hearsay. They want to read it, sir.
And I would love to
so that
refer
they
them
have
to...
Hold on, Mr. Excellent. I don't deal with contention, you know. Let me tell you this. I don't deal with contention. And I know your style. Please.
Sir, You don't know me,
hold
so
on.
you just you come off the platform. This is not your platform.
I deal with the host.
This is not your platform,
The
sir.
host is a very decent person.
Who are you?
The host,
Excellent.
come on.
Excellent.
No, but he's
Excellent.
being rude to me and disrespectful. He doesn't even know me.
All right, gentlemen, I don't think this is really going well.